Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I am a morning anchor right now. I work at ABC 6 News in Rochester, Minnesota. I've been doing morning anchoring. I'm a co-anchor for a couple of years now, just over 2 years since I started that. Previous to doing the morning anchor job, I was a weekend anchor, so I would anchor Saturday and Sunday, our evening newscasts, and then 3 days a week I would be a reporter. I'd go out in the field and just be a general assignment reporter 3 days a week. So that's what I kind of do in the news world right now, and I've also done a variety of other positions as well.
Great. Why should we hire you?
Well, I think I'm a very passionate person about what I do. I love this business. I've been doing it for 8 years now. I've held a lot of different positions. As I mentioned, I've been a producer, all the way down to a production assistant, a reporter, anchor. I just have a passion for news. I've always loved it. I love being involved in the community. I love, asking those tough questions and also doing the fun feature-y stories as well. So I have a passion for what I do. So I think I could bring that to this organization and really be an asset.
Tell us about your strengths and weaknesses.
It's always a tough one. I would say my weakness, and I always say this, it's procrastination. Since I was in high school, I would procrastinate on things. I would sort of do my papers at the last minute. That took me, into college, and I know that can be looked at as a bad thing, but I think I turned that into one of what I consider my strengths, and that is really working well under pressure. That is something that you have to do in this business. When you're a reporter, you have to get the job done by the time the 5 o'clock news hits. So you're going out and you're getting all your interviews, you're coming back and you're editing, you're writing, you're doing all this on your own quite often, and so you have to get it all done in the time allotted. So I think that working well under pressure becomes a strength of mine, and maybe my procrastination led to that. And also, in addition to that, multitasking. I feel like you have a lot of stuff going on at once. You're out in the field in a smaller market that I've worked in. You are one-man banding, you're doing your own camera work, asking your questions, you're also having to be responsible for social media and our website, and you're doing all these things at once, and you have to make everything look great, and again, get it done by your deadline. So I think multitasking would be another strength of mine.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I think I want to sort of be a little more settled down. Be in an anchor position in a market like this where I don't have to travel around the country every couple of years going to a different market like sometimes happens in our industry. I want to be settled down so I can really immerse myself in the community. I can really get involved in different organizations and different charities and just be a part of the community and bring that forth on the anchor desk as well.
Why do you want to work for this organization?
After doing some research, I've noticed that this organization, just watching some of the stories even, you seem like you have a strong investigative team. I really enjoyed some of the investigative stories I've seen, really, really well done stories, in-depth stories, and coming from a smaller market, that's not something we've always gotten to really do a whole lot of because we're just doing a lot of day turn things and we have fewer resources. So it'd be so great to be a part of that. Also, your parent company that that owns the station. Just from doing a little bit of research, minimal research, I could tell that they have the top management team really has a clear vision. They put it out there. Everybody knows the vision. Everyone knows what they want from the company. And I feel like that trickles down into the managers and into every employee there because then everybody knows what's expected of them. They can carry out that mission and that vision a lot more easily than if the top management team were to be a little more ambiguous or less clear.
You mentioned earlier that you work well under pressure and under time constraints. Can you remember a specific time where you had to deal with those types of issues?
Actually, the one that always comes to my mind when I think about this, I covered when President Barack Obama came to Minneapolis. I was sent up to cover that story. So I drove up to the Twin Cities, and you go through all the security you have to deal with to do that, then you cover the story. And he was there specifically talking about firearm legislation. This was not too long after Sandy Hook Elementary School, after that shooting. So he was there talking about that. And of course, you're waiting for the president to come. It takes a little longer for him to get there. He gets there, you get done with the event, and we realized it was just after 3 o'clock. And we had to drive back to Rochester, so an hour and a half drive after getting out of kind of the zoo of security again. get back to Rochester, and I had to be live in the 5, and I had to have a package put together. So I was writing in the car, I was listening on my headphones on the camera in my lap in the car, getting back, editing as fast as I could because we edit all of our own stories in our smaller market. I was editing as fast as I could because we didn't get back into Rochester until about 4:15, and I had to be live at 5. So that was one of my busiest days, I think, where you've got minutes and you have to get it done. There's no missing a deadline. So that was one of my busiest days, I think.
Brianna, thank you.
Thanks.